Hi, everyone. My name is Doreen Cronin, and I am the author of The Chicken Squad. First of all, thank you so much. The chickens and I are very excited to be on the Texas Bluebonnet list this year. It's a huge honor, and we're terribly, terribly proud of even being considered for it. So thank you so much. I understand that you guys had some questions, so I'm going to get to those straight away. The first one is, do you raise chickens? And why do you write about them? I do not raise chickens. I've never raised chickens. I don't think I saw a live chicken till I was probably about 30 years old. I guess I write about them because I think they're funny. They just make me laugh. The way they walk, the way they carry themselves, the way they sound, they make me laugh. So they seem like really good subjects to write about. I also think they're fairly unpredictable. Question number 2, what do you have against squirrels? That's a great question. Squirrels, they dig up my stuff. They dig up my plants. They eat my tomatoes. They're always around. And they're so jumpy when they move that they make me nervous. Although I have nothing against any particular creature. I will just say that squirrels sometimes, well, they annoy me. Okay, question number 3. What imaginary crimes have you solved? I solve imaginary crimes almost every single day. I'm always looking out my window. I live in Brooklyn on a busy street, and I'm always looking out my window, taking mental note of who's on the block and what's happening. So not only do I solve imaginary crimes, I also prevent them. So I think that's really important too. Question number 4. How did a squad of chickens come out of your imagination? Good question. The 4 chickens in the chicken squad, 1, 2, 3, it's hard to do backwards, 3, 4. That's really just me and my brothers and my sister. And there were 4 Cronin kids growing up on Long Island in the 1970s, long, long time ago. And we spent a lot of time in the backyard doing all kinds of stuff with the other kids and chickens that lived in my neighborhood. All our backyards, kind of connected. And so we spent a lot of time out there with not a lot of adult supervision, which is kind of how it was years ago. And we would cause a little bit of trouble, nothing terrible. But that's where the squad came from. 4 Cronin kids, I turned them into chickens. That's all I had to do. Next question. What advice would you give to our young authors as they learn to improve their skills? That's a good question. It's important. Anytime I get stuck writing, which is almost every single day, I get stuck. I mean, I don't get stuck writing. I love to write, but I do get stuck while I'm writing. And when that happens, sometimes I'll just take a break. But a lot of times to help me write, I read. It's really the easiest and most enjoyable way to improve your writing is to find something you want to read and then go to it. Because every time you read, you're really teaching yourself how to write. Your brain is soaking in all this information about structure and about pacing and dialogue. And there's so much stuff in there that you're actually going to learn as you read. And I think the second piece of advice is to just keep at it. It's frustrating sometimes. It's hard to come up with new ideas. It's hard to make sense of. A lot of times we have stories in our heads and they're really, really hard to break down and get them down on a piece of paper. Sometimes that trip from brain to page is really long and there's a lot of detours in there. Be patient with yourself. And when you sit down, sometimes I think worry takes over. Don't sit down to write a story. Sit down and just write a sentence and then write another sentence and then see where they go. And if a sentence even feels like too much some days, and some days it probably does, just write a word or a sound. Write splorp on your page. Just make up a sound. Put that down on your page and see where your brain goes with it. So try not to worry about stories. They'll come. And they don't come in one big piece. They come in little pieces at a time. Sometimes they're just yourself as a chicken. Sometimes it's a weird noise like click, clack, moo. They come from a lot of places. Be patient with yourself. Write down anything. Write down what you ate for breakfast. I'm not kidding. And that'll get your brain loosened up to go. So those are your questions and those are my answers. And thank you so much. And Chicken Squad, Sugar Dirt, Poppy, and Sweetie, also thank you. I hope you had a good time with them. And we'll see you guys in Texas. Okay? Thanks so much.